Okay, it says I'm live. Hopefully, everything goes well in this stream. Just checking some shit. Am I live? Says there's someone here. Never done this before on an iPad. Why are dictatorships more successful than democracies? Because this world is fucked up. Okay, so I am live. I was looking on my phone and it wasn't saying I was live for some reason, so I was confused. Streaming on an iPad. Um, I got this iPad last month, a little after my birthday. Actually, this was my uncle's iPad, the one who unfortunately had a stroke back in July. We got him this iPad when he was still in a rehabilitation facility. But he hardly used it. He rather used his phone. And when he came back here, he didn't use this iPad at all. And then one day he was like, "You can take it." And I was like, "Cool, free iPad." This is a what is it? iPad 10 came out 2023 or whatever. Base iPad, not a Pro or an Air or a Mini, whatever the fuck other iPads there are on the market. I don't know. I'm not the biggest tech guy, so I don't really know much about this shit. Um, I don't know if I'll stream on this iPad from here on out. I think I like the desktop stream dashboard better than the one on the mobile app. But there are some pluses. Camera quality is better than on my laptop. And that's all I can really think about. I did a test stream last night, and I was fucking around with some of these settings. What is this? Retouch? I don't know what that is. Of course, there's a mute button. There used to be these stupid visualizations I remember from when I used to stream on my phone years ago. I guess they took those away. I don't know. I used to have fun with those. Highlight saved your channel as unlisted. I don't know. I'm just pressing fucking around with some buttons. It says I uploaded a highlight or some shit that's unlisted. I don't know. uh, Also, this might be a shorter stream. I might have to go to the store. My uncle needs my help, but my mom may be working late, and my uncle doesn't drive just like me, so she would have to take us. Um, but again, she might be working late, so I don't know. I could every time I say a stream might be shorter, I end up streaming for the full 2 hours. So we'll see how this goes, I suppose. Hello, Robert. Hello, Ronald McDonald. Hello, Anther fan. How are all of you doing? How's it going? Going okay, I suppose. Nothing special is really going on in my life currently. Just like any other day, really. Nothing special is going on. Unfortunately, that's how it is, but oh well. It's been a decade already since OBA was caught, Meaver shutting down, Switch release. Damn, time flies fast. I was in middle school when all of this happened. Well, I was in high school when everything you listed out happened. I'm good. I'm eating TGI Fridays, buffalo chicken on a Friday. Yeah, what better day to eat TGI Fridays than on a Friday? Never been there. I don't even know if there's any around me. I found your stream on my recommended, and the thumbnail made me laugh. Yeah, again, this is the first time I've streamed on an iPad, and the 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 thumbnail, for whatever reason, they make it so extremely close up. I don't know why. Like on my laptop, it's normal, but I took the when I took the thumbnail for this, and it showed me the preview for the thumbnail, and it was so up close. I was like, "What the fuck?" But it's amusing, so whatever. And it got your attention, so I guess that's good. I suppose there was a heavy thunderstorm last night, and there was some hail too. It only drizzled here yesterday. Only normal rain. Speaking of yesterday, there was some crazy news about a helicopter falling into the Hudson River here in NYC. Yesterday, my mom texted me an article to that, and at the time, only one was confirmed dead. There were six people, I believe, on the helicopter. It was a tourist. It was a tourist flight. I think the people on board were tourists from another country. It wasn't a private flight or anything, but no, it's horrible. And everyone on board ended up dying. I don't even know what exactly happened. I think the propeller split off the helicopter. Something crazy like that. 2016 was an interesting, crazy year for me, to be honest. 2016, in terms of my personal life, was okay, I guess. But internet wise was pretty fucking bad. It was a lot of stupid drama I was involved in at the time. You know, I was 15, so you know who exactly is a rational, smart person at 15? And I kind of inserted myself. Well, not even really inserted myself. Just the people around me would insert me into really stupid drama that I made the mistake of engaging in a few times. OBA will probably never hear from him again. Yeah, probably not. His probation ended, what, 3 years ago? Or around that time? I remember when the anniversary of his arrest came around a few years ago. That was supposedly when his probation ended, but I don't know who even knows the exact date of when that ended. But I remember, like, I remember checking the comments section on that day on his last video, and there were like fucking 20 people like, "This is the day OB is gonna come back. Let's see what happens," and nothing happened. I think the 10-year anniversary of that video where he said Sakurai needs to have permanent wrist injury for adding Ryu into Smash 4 is coming up. What is that video, in May or June? I gotta check the date. That also marks 10 years since the first video I made responding to him. And I've been thinking about doing something for that, kind of. Well, I made a video a few years ago, or several years ago at this point, reflecting on that whole crusade, I guess you could call it. I I had against him back in the day. So I'm not going to do that again. I was thinking of just talking about, you know, the time I watched him, why I thought his content was entertaining at the time, and looking back at the content he made at the time. And I guess you could say it would kind of be a retrospective, but not really. More like just talking about my enjoyment of his content at the time and why I think his content is cringe now. I don't know. Might do something like that for the 10-year anniversary, because I suppose it is a significant anniversary. I mean, I wouldn't say those videos put me on the map per se, but I remember a lot of people liked the OB videos I made back in the day for some reason. Where did I leave off? The chat it keeps disappearing, and every time someone types a new message, automatically goes to the bottom, which I don't like. Does that sometimes on the desktop dashboard too, but I really do like the desktop dashboard a lot more than the stream dashboard on mobile, so I don't know if I'll be streaming on an iPad ever again after this stream. Uh, Lots of new music coming out the last few days too. Like what? What new music? Well, I don't doubt there has been new music coming out. I just unfortunately don't pay attention. Most of the artists I listen to is from decades and decades ago. Do you like McDonald's? Well, of course, someone whose profile name is Ronald McDonald would ask that. But McDonald's is all right. Something I choose not to have all too often, though. The last time I had McDonald's was, I don't know, a month ago, maybe at least. Again, McDonald's and fast food in general is something I choose not to eat all too often. I know you look at me and you think that's hard to believe, but no, it's true. I heard about the helicopter crash. Everyone died, including children. Yeah, there were like, what, 3 children on board? That's horrible. Every time you hear about children dying, it's just so fucking terrible, especially if it's like a school shooting or, something that, could be entirely avoidable, like not going on a helicopter ride, going over the Hudson. It also kind of sort of reminds me of that of the submarine that was supposed to go to the Titanic. A bunch of these rich fucks went on it, and then the submarine imploded, or they imploded. The only person I feel bad in that situation though was the 19-year-old that didn't even want to go on the submarine in the first place. You're live on an iPad. That's cool. Yeah, it is cool, I guess. Again, I only just got this iPad like a month ago. It was my uncle's before it was mine. Now it's mine. Carl Jobs also lost his lawsuit to Billy Mitchell. Yeah, I heard about that. He accused Billy Mitchell of causing some YouTubers suicide or some Twitch streamers suicide, but he duped his audience, I believe, into donating to a GoFundMe, and it was all under the pretense of Billy Mitchell is suing me because I proved that he cheated in Donkey Kong or something like that. I didn't watch Carl Jobs' videos on Billy Mitchell because I really don't care about Billy Mitchell. Don't really even know much about that situation outside of him being a fraud and a cheater and not the god gamer he proclaims to be. But I did really like Carl Jobs' videos on The Completionist, even though I didn't watch The Completionist prior to that drama either. But I guess it still is unfortunate because Carl Jobs did at least present himself as a trustworthy person who wanted to get to the bottom of things and exposed, fraudsters for, well, the fraudsters they are, and he ended up not being any different. So I guess you could say classic example of projection. Yeah, I don't really know too much about that situation though. All I know is that he baselessly accused Billy Mitchell of causing some YouTuber's suicide, and that was actually what the lawsuit was about. It wasn't actually about Billy Mitchell suing Carl Jobst for, again, exposing him as a fraud. So I guess unfortunately the case was a legit case against Carl Jobst. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. That is defamation by definition. But I'm just saying. I guess it's unfortunately a win for Billy Mitchell. But defamation is defamation, and Billy Mitchell seemed to have a legit case against Carl. Doesn't Carl Jobst have to pay out like at least 500K? He's Australian, right? And I believe in Australia you also have to pay for the opposing side's court fees if you lose. I watched Archfiend's video on that, and that's really where I got most of my information surrounding that. Not interested in really making a video about that on my own though, because again, I don't care that much about the situation. Anyway, I was 12/13 in 2016. I started 20 when 2016 began. I was 14, and then I turned 15 in March of that year. What type of stupid drama? Um, drama I was involved in 2016. Nothing. If you seem to have just found me through this stream and your recommendation, so I don't really need to give a stranger uh, the whole um, history lesson on the on drama I was in nearly a decade ago. I was 5 in 2016. So you're what, 14 now? Jesus. It's always weird, um, hearing people say or reading people say they were like 5 or 6 or whatever in years that I was already a teenager. So strange. I shouldn't say strange. It's just it fascinates me. Like I don't know why. I got myself involved in a lot of internet drama in 2020 when I was an idiotic 17-year-old. 2020, in terms of my personal life, I mean, lockdown initially wasn't that bad because I am a shut-in, I'm not a social person, so quarantining at my home wasn't that bad since I hardly left my home anyway, unless I needed to leave. Like, for example, I was going to school or college, or I had to go run errands or something, things like that. So, uh, you know, quarantine wasn't that bad for me. So, in terms of COVID, um, it didn't wreck my 2020 or anything. But obviously, my grandmother passed away in 2020, and that's why I don't look back at 2020 all that fondly. I mean, there were good things that still happened directly after her death, like me reconnecting with my father and my father's side of the family in general. So, 2020 wasn't all bad. It wasn't completely bleak like 2024 was. But still, yeah, my grandmother's death hit me hard and still hits me hard, frankly. It's hard to believe it's going to be 5 years this September since she passed. It still feels so recent. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, 5 years is still relatively recent, but It just doesn't feel like nearly 5 years ago, is what I'm getting at. In terms of my internet endeavors in 2020, yeah, they weren't great. That wasn't great, I should say. I'm not gonna rehash. I'm not gonna rehash exactly what happened. Um, because that's a whole can of worms that I'd rather keep closed. And it involved me falling out with some people who I've since made up with. The Minecraft movie made people crazy. I'm glad I didn't watch it, or a popcorn bucket would hit my head. I didn't even know there was a Minecraft movie until like a few days ago. I don't I don't pay attention to that at all. I don't play Minecraft. When I think about Minecraft, I still think about that Miiverse argument I had like 10 years ago with some kid that got mad at me for not liking Minecraft, and also saying very sexual things to me. We'll just leave it at that. But I look back at that argument and I think maybe it was just some weirdo adult saying shit like that to a kid, because Miiverse had no shortage of predators. I was in his comment section that day too, I'll admit. Um I didn't um I didn't comment. I think my main account is blocked on his channel, because I remember writing a few comments around the time he first disappeared. Because around that time, the uh the upcoming Zelda game, which ended up being Breath of the Wild, got delayed again. And I was like, the one time after I stopped supporting you, I'm looking forward to a video by you, you completely disappear. And I remember posting that comment, but it never actually showed up in his comment section. So I'm pretty sure before his disappearance, he blocked me from his channel because, well, I assume it's because of all the videos I made about him back then. I did write a few comments on my second channel under that video, though. I think something tasteless like Bubble will make you feel more butthurt than Smash Bros. Could ever make you feel, or something like that. Prison rape jokes aren't exactly my forte these days. He probably forgot his password or is prohibited from having access to the internet and electronics. Well, assuming his probation did end a few years ago, I think he would be allowed to have access to electronics again. I think it's more an instance of him knowing that his audience knows that he was arrested for possessing child pornography. So he has no reason of coming back. Or for all I know, maybe he did violate his probation and he's still prohibited from accessing electronics. I don't know. None of us know what his post prison life has been like. June 13th is the 10th anniversary of that video. Oh, the Ryu video? Yeah, sounds about right. I think I uploaded my video on the same day, or maybe a day after, or a day or two after. I don't know. What are you talking about, bro? Whatever the chat brings up. I'm always beholden to whatever the chat brings up in these streams. At the time, we related to his frustrations with Miiverse. Yeah, that was the draw to his content for me. Um, well, when I first found his channel, I wasn't getting admin notifications left and right, but when I did become a prime target of the admins, admittedly looking back at a lot of those old reports, I can see why the those posts and comments of mine were taken down. But at the time, yeah, I did relate to the frustration of getting banned or getting a post of mine taken down. Never to the point where I wanted to kill people though, or threatened people on Miiverse or anything like that though. That time he broke his Wii U gamepad and blamed the game over his rage. New music from my favorite bands: Drowning Pool, Pendulum, and Ghost. Three bands I don't listen to. I heard of Drowning Pool, and I think I heard of Ghost, maybe. Drowning Pool has that bodies hit the floor song, right? I haven't had McDonald's in 11 years. Good for you. Here in NYC, or really anywhere in the world, McDonald's is damn near inescapable. There's like a McDonald's at every fucking corner. And there are times where I'm hungry and I just want something quick. And then there's always a McDonald's right by me, so I go have that. I only eat McDonald's once a month. I don't have a strict limit on how often I eat McDonald's. I'm not like, oh, I'll just have McDonald's once a month or anything like that. I could go a few months without having McDonald's, or sometimes I have McDonald's like twice in a week, although that's very rare. It just depends on if I feel like having it or if I'm hungry and there's just nothing else around, or I just, don't feel like waiting too long for a meal. So I just, you know, settle with fast food and there's almost always a McDonald's right by me, wherever I am. I'm leaving the stream. Have a nice day. See ya, Ronald McDonald. I think this isn't the first time some person I've never seen before and some person who has never heard of me before was like, why is this in my recommendations? I'm just here because the YouTube recommended this to me for some reason. It's always funny whenever that happens. It's always cool when the YouTube algorithm decides to be nice to my channel and recommend my videos to people who have never heard of me before. I do like that that happens though. A lot of the times I get these random videos that only have like 10 views pop up in my recommended feed for whatever reason, and it's almost always someone just talking to their webcam or their phone, and just, it's like a mundane vlog type video. And I like that. I like watching these obscure videos the YouTube algorithm for whatever reason decides to put in my feed. The YouTube algorithm has especially been nice to me lately, though. That I'm Alex video I made got like what 1,500 views, and then the James Somerton one got like 3,000 or something like that. I haven't looked. I haven't looked today at least. Where did I leave off? I think here. It's weird hearing words from people born from 2010 to 2016. You're telling me like people born in 2010, assuming they were born early in the year, are 15 now. And that's just so weird to me. Like, I was 9 years old in 2010. I remember 2010 clearly, and to think, now someone was just born then or wasn't even born yet, and, now they're, like, a teenager. It's just so weird. So once again, the chat just automatically went to the bottom. I hate it when it fucking does that. Seem to do that a lot more on mobile. Lockdown was tough for me because I really liked going out and socializing at the time. Yeah, I'm not a social person, so again, lockdown wasn't that hard for me. Though, even for someone like me, lockdown did get tough after a certain point, having to stay indoors and even though I didn't really like going out and socializing with people all that much, I still did like going out to just say, take a walk or go to one of the parks that are near me, you know? And even doing that was discouraged for good reason. I'm not complaining, but even for someone who is so antisocial like me, lockdown did get tough after a certain point. So I feel you there. Summoning Salt made a video on the history of 120-star runs for Super Mario 64. He also covered Sigil Mike's runs, which was a nice throwback. I have no idea who that is. Sadly, a lot of Sigil Mike's videos, Sigil Mick, whatever, however you pronounce that, their content is lost to time. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, there are content creators I've enjoyed throughout the years who up all of a sudden delete their channels or delete their videos, and unfortunately, a lot of the times, a lot of, or at least some of their content ends up becoming lost media. Which I mean, most recently, Review Tech USA, he deleted his channel. I don't know if all of his videos were archived. I highly doubt it. The dude had like 6,000 videos on his channel before he deleted it. I don't know if I don't know if every single one of his videos have been backed up, but it's just bullshit whenever a content creator does that. I mean, on one hand, I get it. It's your channel. You can run it however you please. If you feel like deleting it or deleting your videos, you have the, free liberty to do so. But at the same time, it's just such a fuck you to your fans who enjoyed your content. And now for, ultimately selfish reasons, you want to pull that content that people enjoyed. I'm just really big on preservation these days, and that's why I don't really like deleting videos anymore. I mean, I did for a time, and there are some videos I have deleted that I don't regret deleting. Like, for example, the one video where I justified using the N word hard R, even if it's, even in the context of, a shitty joke, or even in the context of actually using it as a pejorative. I was like, there are a lot of stupid racists who say the N word hard R, and that's their free speech. I don't agree with them saying it, but that's still their free speech. I was one of those people back then. But all in all, there are some videos I have taken down that I kind of wish I didn't. There was a video back in around 2017 or 2018, right? Basically, it was an enlightened centrist video where I was like, both the left and the right are equally as stupid as each other, and not even. It was a pretty dumb video, but I would have liked to look back at that video and maybe make a video now dissecting my problems with that video and dissecting my problem with that take in general. But I don't think I have that video saved anywhere, unfortunately. All in all, I don't like taking down videos these days, unless it's something really egregious. But I think the more egregious videos have either been taken down by me or taken down by YouTube at this point. I think the only instance where I would delete a video today, that a video that I would upload today that I would take down, is if I get, if the subject I'm talking about, if I get something so horribly wrong to the point where leaving up the video is irresponsible, like maybe I'm unintentionally spreading misinformation in a video or something like that. Maybe I would take the video down, but even then maybe I would just put something in the title like disregard or something like that. I have tried to apologize to some of the people I had drama with, and they basically told me to fuck off. Yeah, I mean, I haven't experienced that. A lot of the people I was an asshole to in high school that I regret being an asshole towards now, I have no means of contact with. Don't know their socials, obviously don't know things like their phone number or anything. But if I did, like, know their Instagram or whatever, I probably would send them a message saying, I'm sorry for the way I treated you back then. I was stupid. I was a dumb teenager, and honestly, if they chose not to accept my apology, I'd understand. An adult Dylan would watch the Minecraft movie on repeat. Oh, the Minecraft kid I argued with back then. Maybe. Who knows what the fuck he's up to these days? Assuming he was actually a kid back then. Again, I have my suspicions. I watched that video like a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, and I was reading those comments he was leaving, or well, I mean, a lot of his comments were taken down by the admins, but I did vaguely remember. Sorry, phew, my voice just completely gave out there. I do vaguely remember some of the things he was saying, like he was telling me and other people in the argument to suck his dick, or something like "I want to show you my dick," or something like that. And it gives me a sneaking suspicion, though, that he uh he wasn't a kid back then, and instead he was some creepo adult. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? Why would OBA, a grown ass man, want to use Miiverse? Looking back, I'm not surprised he had bad shit on his electronics. Well, if a grown adult is just using Miiverse for maybe to like share screenshots in their games or whatever, then I have no problem with that. But if you're a grown adult and you're having like extensive conversations with like 10-year-olds, then yeah, that's where I think it's a little questionable. And like most of his audience back then were like 10 to 13-year-olds. I don't think there was anyone in his audience that was around his age. That's kind of what I like about starting um about starting this channel. Well, not really starting this channel when I was 13, but beginning to upload channels on the beginning to upload videos onto this channel when I was age 13. A lot of my audience back then was around my age, and those who have chosen to stuck around have essentially grown up with me, as parasocial as that might be to say. But you know everyone watching my content, I'd imagine most of the people watching my content these days are around my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. But I think the median age for my audience is like maybe late teens, early 20s. And I like that. It would be weird if I were to begin making videos about a children's social media app at my current age, 24, and then the median age of my audience is like fucking, like I said before, 10 to 13. Who's your favorite Mario character? Luigi. He's the one with the most personality, and also his cowardice is something I could kind of relate to. His cowardly personality is something I can kind of relate to. Dylan could be younger. I had people who were like that. Well, I mean, I did know my fair share of 12 and 13-year-olds who would say gross shit like that and, talk about dicks because, haha, dicks are funny. Sex is funny. You know, just, stupid humor like that. But, I mean, some of the shit he was saying was still really questionable, especially given the context of me and like most of the other people who engaged in that argument were like 12 and 13, and he was saying shit like, I bet you would enjoy my dick if you saw it, or something like that. uh, it's just it just makes you think that maybe he was actually some kind of fucking predator on Miiverse. I mean, it wouldn't be that surprising considering Miiverse was chock full of people like that. I still remember the video of him leaving the courthouse. Well, I still remember when the video of him leaving the courthouse came out, and he tried to hide his face with a hat, then threatened to bash the cameraman's teeth in. Yeah, the last bit of OBA content we got, probably ever. I remember when I thought I remember when I thought I saw I'm in Toronto one day, but I don't think it was. This was 2016. Couldn't even grow a beard yet. Long time ago, I talked about it in chat here in 2016 or 2017, something like that. I don't even know what you're referring to. Yes, Bodies was the first song I ever heard by them in 2017 when I was 14 and felt so cool about myself. Ah, blissful childhood. I think I heard that song long before 2017. In fact, I know I heard that song long before 2017. I was already aware of that song back in like 2000. I don't even know an exact year, but when I was in elementary school, that song was already very familiar to me. But one, my dad really likes new metal, or he did back then. Well, he still does. And Drowning Pool is new metal, or at least new metal adjacent. I know they're popular in the scene at the time when they came out. And my dad liked their music and that song especially. So I recognize that song from my father. And also, that song was really popular in in like late 2000s. You getting a perma ban. Oh, is it? That's right. Yeah. I remember not feeling as sad about that as I thought I would. Because at that point, I did pretty much see it coming. I was getting banned left and right, getting posts of mine taken down left and right. So I was like, yeah, permaban is probably coming. And by that point, I was just so over Miiverse, to be honest. I think even before that permaban, there were a couple of times where I was like, ah, you know what, fuck Miiverse, I don't want to post here anymore. And then I would inevitably come back until that redesign happened. That's when I was like, fuck it, I'm never posting here again. And I stuck to my word. But yeah, when that I wasn't surprised at all when that account got permabanned. And I already had this YouTube channel by then, so that's what I was putting most of my focus in by that time as well. YouTube pretty much replaced Meverse for me when it came to, ranting. I wasn't making posts talking about shit I hate anymore. Instead, I was making videos talking about shit I hate, which I honestly enjoyed more than just making Meverse posts. So, whatever. I just wish my second account didn't get flat out fucking deleted by the admins though. I still have never heard that happening to other people. I don't know if the admins had some like special vendetta against me or anything like that. But unfortunately that account getting deleted also means none of my Meverse posts were archived on that Meverse archive site. Which really fucking sucks. I would have loved to also look back at the posts I made on my second account, which eventually became my main account after my first account got permabanned, and reading all the conversations I had under those posts. And that second account was where the Minecraft argument happened. So that's also unfortunate. I would have liked to read those comments again and not have to fucking watch a shitty video from 2014 to be able to read those comments again. It's bittersweet reading old conversations though on that Meverse archive site, Archiveverse it's called, because I see so many names under my old posts that were I see so many names there that I haven't seen in such a long time. People I've had no means of contact with after Meverse shut down. People I had a lot of fun talking to back then that I know I'm probably never going to speak to again. I mean, never say never. There have been some people throughout the years who I've spoken to again, which was unexpected. But I know for the most part, I'm probably not going to speak to most Meverse friends I had back then. Never again, unfortunately. And yes, Ghost is very popular right now. First heard of them in December 2018 when I was in 10th grade. Cool. Again, yeah, Ghosts does sound very familiar. I don't know if I could name any of their songs. Maybe I've heard a song or two by them. It's just, I think I mostly heard them through other people talking about them and bringing them up. Maybe I even heard of them from you in other streams. I had McDonald's on Tuesday. My main Meverse account got permabanned January 21st, 2015. I don't even know how many bans I got in total. I wasn't counting, and obviously I wouldn't be able to know now. Apparently, getting something insane like fucking 30 bans on Meverse across all of your accounts is possible. I don't even think I had like 30 bans on there. When people say that, I'm just wondering what the fuck were you doing on there? How do you feel about Donkey Kong's new look? I haven't really thought twice about it. I guess I prefer his old look. I don't know. I don't really play Donkey Kong games, so it doesn't really bother me either way. I may play that new Donkey Kong game, Bonanza, whenever or if I ever get a Switch 2. It depends on what the price will be ultimately. I mean, who knows with these tariffs? Trump backed off the tariffs once again. Like I said in my most recent video, the market is so volatile right now because, you know, we're Trump imposes these tariffs and then goes back on the tariffs, then imposes tariffs again. But that's what this country wanted, an erratic fucking idiot in the White House. July 11th will be the 10th anniversary of Satoru Iwata's death. Hard to believe it has been so long. Yeah, I remember when I first found out that Iwata died. I think it was on Miiverse I found out. I think it was actually Justin I was talking to, and we were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden he was like, Iwata died. And I was like, really? No, he didn't die. And then I looked up, and there were articles already saying Satoru Iwata has passed away, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, that was really sad. Remember, I remember I was actually me and my family just ate at a restaurant, and we were in the car on the way back home, and I remember I when I first heard that Iwata died, I was like, you and my family took notice of that. They're like, "What happened? What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing." You know, obviously, if I told them Iwata died, they're not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about because none of them give a shit about games. I only first heard of Alex from his videos about Daddy05. Who I'm Alex? Yeah, I kind of watched him back then. I never really cared about the whole drama commentary scene on YouTube, even though I guess you could say my channel is adjacent to that scene. I mean, that's not my primary. That's not what I talk about primarily on this channel, but I have also made my share of drama commentary videos about other YouTubers. But all in all, channels that solely focus on that, I don't watch. I didn't like Alex's content back then. I didn't. He already had this kind of holier than thou um, aura to himself back then that I didn't like, so I didn't watch him back then. And then, the Slazo stuff happened that only made my opinion on him even more negative. And then, of course, last year, that Google Doc on him dropped, and yeah, he's just a complete shitbag. A YouTuber I used to enjoy named Silent Rob deleted his channel back in February after getting criticism for putting most of his videos and streams behind an $8 paywall. Why the fuck would you put most of your videos and streams behind a paywall? Like, I don't blame that guy for. I don't blame that guy's audience for giving him flack for that. Um, I think I heard of Silent Rob, but maybe I've seen like a video or two of his, but he's certainly someone I never watched regularly. But yeah, that's shitty. Making content for presumably years for free for your audience, and then all of a sudden saying, "Nope, if you want to watch these videos again, you gotta pay me $8." Presumably, you have to pay $8 for each video. It's not like a one-time fee of $8. I don't think that's how paywalls on YouTube works. But even still, yeah, I mean that's just scummy. Then he made a bunch of burner accounts making fun of the autistic daughter of one of his former friends. Jesus Christ, this dude sounds like a shitbag. Again, the name Silent Rob sounds familiar. I think maybe I've seen some videos by the guy. I barely remember them though. He was doing drugs and having mental health issues, but recently he apologized. Well, we'll see if he actually commits to changing, I suppose. Could easily just be using that as a scapegoat, saying, I have mental health issues, I'm on drugs, I'm sorry, but I'm still going to continue the same shitty behavior. There was a reviewer by the name of Rap Ranter who I really enjoyed, and all of a sudden in 2020 he deleted his content. Nowadays his videos are on Internet Archive. I think I might have heard of Rap Ranter. Well, that's too bad, I guess. Hello, Olin. How you doing? You never truly know who someone is off camera. Yeah, I mean, I have met my I've met a disturbing amount of predators and such throughout my years on the internet. I mean, OBA is a prime example of that. I was a big fan of his when I was 12, 13. I mean, I've had some. Not to say we were like best friends or anything, but the fact that that I spoke to him on a regular basis at such a young age, and I mean, we DM'd a few times on Meverse. We never had like long conversations on there or anything, but the fact that I was DMing someone who had such a vast amount of child pornography at such a young age, it's just disturbs me to no end. I mean, admittedly, every conversation I had with them, whether public or private, was pretty cordial. He never got weird with me like he did with supposedly a few other people. Like, for example, I had a friend named Nicole who unfortunately passed away last year. She knew him way better than I did back then. She's told me a couple of um disturbing stories of him talking to her when she was only like 13 years old and talking about jacking off and watching porn. And even at one point she told me that um he said he was going to go watch porn, and then he put on and then he actually put it on and she could hear it. And she said that the girl in the video sounded suspiciously young, and I'm like, oh god. Oh. So yeah, you never truly know who a person is like off camera. That's the big takeaway from what I just said. I've been thinking about how teachers could use H Bomber Guy's video or just talk about James Somerton when they teach their students about plagiarism. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it gets any worse than James Somerton when it comes to plagiarism. He's an excellent study on how not to be when you want to be an honest content creator, or or just someone in general who wants to create their own original content or write their own original work. I heard of OBA through a friend I met in middle school and have been friends with since. Oh, yeah, no one in middle school. No one in my middle school really gave a shit about me. I mean, I had a friend who had a Wii U, and I would tell him a little bit about the dumb people I would encounter on Miiverse, and posts of mine getting taken down. And he would have some interest, but he had a Wii U. He didn't use Miiverse, so he didn't really care all that much. So really, the internet was my only means of meeting people who also had a vested interest in Miiverse. Looking back, it's obvious OBA had serious issues. Yep. I mean, it goes to show how much taste can change when you get older, because I watched some of his old Miiverse videos, and it's like, this is a 23, 24-year-old man. Um, threatening 10-year-olds online because they false reported him on a children's social media app. Like, how did I enjoy this back then? But I did, and that's what I might make a video talking about when the 10-year anniversary of that Sakurai video comes up. People born in 2010 can vote in the 2028 election if they turn 18 before the election or have same day registration. Oh God, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that in 3 years, 2010 is going to be 18 years ago. Again, that is wild to me. Like, years that I can remember clearly are for other people years they were just being born in. I also remember hearing people saying that OBA would flirt with them in private messages. Yikes. Yeah, I've heard some of that. Again, every I DM'd him on Miiverse a few times, and every conversation we had was just normal. Like me, I would talk to him about whatever recent video he uploaded, and we would talk a little about that, and then the conversation would just end abruptly. Again, every conversation I personally had with them were normal and cordial, but to think that, other people had different experiences where he would be flirty or talk about overly sexual topics, knowing that the person he's talking to is like 12 years old. Yeah. And, with the knowledge now that he had such a huge collection of CP, yeah, it's just so disturbing. Oh, hello, hero of what? How are you doing? All my stars on an iPad. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna do this again though. I much prefer the stream dashboard on my laptop. I heard the Body song in a video featuring the Jaws ride at Universal Studios Florida. Yeah, Bodies is like a staple of early YouTube. Again, I remember so many videos using that song, and I think no, the first time I heard that song was from my dad, like I said, but um my dad and early YouTube is immediately what I associate that song with. My dad's favorite band these days, oh well, back when I was a kid, his favorite band was Slayer, but these days it's Slipknot. It's funny, I've met so many people online and some in real life who love Slipknot, but I could just never get into them. Like I've tried so many times to get into Slipknot. I just don't like their music. Not a big fan. And yet seemingly everyone around me loves Slipknot so much. Well, not everyone, but you get what I mean. Once I started using Twitter, I kind of forgot about Meverse and didn't post much anymore. Like I said, YouTube completely replaced Meverse for me. It was an outlet that I liked a lot more than Meverse, and I wasn't getting videos taken down left and right like I was getting posts taken down left and right on Meverse, so that was a plus too. I still posted here and there when Breath of the Wild came out. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I remember being so excited for that game. It didn't help that it got delayed several times, so that only increased my hype for the game because I was like, if a game is getting delayed this much, surely Nintendo is, putting so much hard work and dedication into this game, which, I mean, they were. I'm not saying they weren't, but surely this game will exceed my expectations and be the greatest game I have ever played, right? No, I couldn't get into Breath of the Wild. Only beat it once on the Wii U, and I thought the game was very boring. Yeah, I could never see the magic other people see in that game. and I still have not played Tears of the Kingdom, and I don't plan on playing Tears of the Kingdom. I am playing Echoes of Wisdom though, the side game that came out. Well, I don't know about side game, but the non-mainline Zelda game that came out last year that stars Zelda. She's the main playable character in that game. I wasn't sure what I thought about that game initially when they first revealed it because I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know about, using objects to solve puzzles and that being the, main focus of the game, as aside from, just slashing away at enemies like you would with Link. But it's actually a fun game. I'm in the middle of it and I really like it. I was only ever banned twice for 2 weeks. Nah, and I was banned who knows how many fucking times. I remember OBA was crying about in his video about Iwata's death. Yeah, I watched that video when Iwata passed away. He was one of the first channels I went to. Even though by that point I know I already didn't like him when I was making the videos about him, but even still, I wanted to hear his opinion on Iwata passing away. Well, really, because I thought he was gonna make a video shitting on Iwata and saying he was happy he died, and I thought he was gonna go that route because I know he's said very unfavorable things about Iwata before Iwata passed away. So that video was a pleasant surprise and still a video of his that I like to this day, despite him being a disgusting person. Back in 2009, Silent Rob got backlash for a $5 website he tried to do back then. Like what the website was behind a paywall? What was on the website? The day he announced the $8 paywall, he basically called his fans broke bitches for not donating or something. I hate these fucking entitled YouTubers, dude. Like, you make free content for years and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to put a significant amount of my videos behind a paywall. And then when fans, understandably get upset at that, the stupid content creator is like, oh, you're just broke. You're just mad that you can't afford previously free content. Like, no, that's not the problem. And why are you owed your fans money? Like, think of all the other things they could spend their money on that are not videos they can just choose not to watch. Before that, he had left YouTube for over a year, then came back and said him and his wife are battling fentanyl addiction. Well, I hope he beats the addiction, but he sounds like a douchebag, even factoring out the drug addiction. OB is a great role model for the children. No one ever, hopefully no one said that. OB's gaming channel is lost media too. It somehow disappeared in 2017. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Is OB currently in prison? Supposedly his probation ended in, I think, 2022. Oh, and I forgot to mention Silent Rob made a short on his burner account where he literally gave out his address and threatened anyone if they showed up to his house. Yeah, this dude sounds really unhinged. Jesus Christ. Makes me glad I never got into this dude's content. Again, I barely know who this person is. Maybe I've seen like a video or two of Silent Rob. Whoa, I could zoom in. Hello. Uh, that wasn't awkward at all. Um, what was I saying? I think I saw like a video or two of his maybe years ago, but he was someone I never watched on a regular basis, obviously. Hello, EcoPunk. How are you doing? Only reason a paywall happens is because YouTubers struggle to make money on the platform without it. I mean, wouldn't putting your content behind a paywall kill your channel even further? Because it's literally you telling your audience, you can't watch this video without throwing money my way. And obviously, I'm willing to bet a very, very small portion of your audience, if anyone, is actually going to pay you money to watch a video they don't need to see. Like imagine if I did that. All of a sudden I put all my 1,500 videos behind a paywall saying if you want to watch this video from me again, you have to pay me money. I'd imagine no one who watches me would do that. I certainly wouldn't do that with any YouTuber I enjoy. Like it's one thing to, put certain videos behind a paywall or certain streams behind a paywall, then whatever, but if you're putting like a significant portion of your content that was previously free behind a paywall, I think that's scummy and entitled behavior to the extreme. The documentation video is called Silent Rob Viciously Mocks Disabled Children. Take a look at all those awful shorts of him driving around and saying crazy shit. Nah, I don't think I want to watch that. Sorry. There's someone who has been commenting for years on OBA's last video called OBA Arrested. Yeah, I'm familiar with that guy. Let me get into a comfortable position. Well, I was in a comfortable position until it wasn't comfortable anymore. Obviously, staying in the same exact position for over an hour at this point gets uncomfortable. Anyway, yeah, I am familiar with that OB arrested person. I can't even imagine having an account in 2025 that is centered around a guy who made cringe obscure Meverse videos over 10 years ago, who got arrested nearly 10 years ago. It just seems like such a fucking waste of time. That OBA arrested guy is subscribed to me. He's probably subbed to me as well, but I think he's only ever commented on the OBA videos I made. Nice PlayStation shirt, thanks. I got this recently. Well, actually, my mom saw it in a store and she was like, oh, he'd probably like that, and she got it for me. It's a nice shirt. I have another shirt that's similar, except it actually has the word PlayStation on the bottom, and this doesn't. And that shirt was kind of falling apart anyway, so I'm glad I have this. Yeah, he seems to be subbed to everyone. I have a suspicion I know who the person behind that account is, but I know if I mention their name on my channel, they're gonna probably be incessantly talking about me like they probably already are, so I'm not gonna give them any more fodder than they already have. OBA and EDP would get along, maybe. Again, I don't know anything about OBA's post-prison life, so for all I know, maybe he is reformed. He was supposedly getting treatment in prison. So obviously, I can't say conclusively that he's still a predator. I mean, I still wouldn't trust him around children, obviously, but, you know. 74 minutes this stream has been going on for. An hour and 14 minutes. I can't imagine making a whole account dedicated to another person online, especially someone who hasn't uploaded in nearly 10 years and someone who ultimately isn't relevant. I mean, outside of this little bubble, who the fuck knows who OPA is? I mean, he wasn't some like super famous YouTuber or anything. I'd rather just be my real self. Well, that's what I like about this. That's what I like about having this channel. It's my main way of expressing myself and what I like, what I don't like, and just shit, talking about shit I'm interested in general. And I'm appreciative that people watch the videos I put out. I'm not some super famous guy either, but to even have any audience at all watching my stuff has just always been something that has bent my mind. Like I've talked a lot about how appreciative I am of the people who watch my videos and having this channel in my life in general, and I'm never gonna shut up about that. I really am appreciative that this channel is in my life because it's my main and favorite outlet of expressing myself. And again, there are people who are interested in hearing what I have to say about any given topic that blips into my mind that I feel like making a video on. I love it. It's soon going to be 11 years since I uploaded my first video onto this channel. Well, uploaded a Mario Kart 8 clip onto this channel. The first real video on this channel was uploaded in June. I mean, you probably know what it is already. It was a video um, showcasing a post of mine that got taken down by the admins on Miiverse. But yeah, I still consider May 31st to be the anniversary when I first started uploading videos, though. As you know, that Mario Kart 8 clip is still the first video uploaded onto this channel. Remember those stupid news videos you used to do? Yeah, I stopped doing those a few years ago. I got bored. Wasn't really interested in making those videos anymore. Maybe I'll bring that back someday. I don't know, but after a while, I just didn't really enjoy making those videos anymore. Especially the last time I made one. I wasn't really, I didn't really have that much fun making it. I know there are people who enjoyed those videos, but I personally didn't really enjoy making them after a certain point, so they just went away. That's what I am with every series on this channel that isn't the comment waste series, though. I make some videos and then I just get bored making them and I never revisit the series. Like, the right wing meme series. Well, actually, for that series was from a subreddit called The Right Can't Meme. Have to like deface the meme, like people were drawing X over the meme, and obviously that completely ruins the memes for the video. And that was where I got most of the memes I used for those videos. So yeah, that was like I wasn't gonna use. So that kind of ruined those videos for me. Ruined material for those videos, I should say. I mean, I understand why the sub implemented that. I think there were posts getting taken down by Reddit's admins because some of those memes were genuinely vile and broke hate speech policy, and I think the subreddit did that to avoid getting taken down. But it's just that I'm not going to feature a meme that has a big red X over it. 2026 will be the 10th anniversary of your comment waste bin slash cringy comments series. Yeah, it will be. Oof. I remember retiring that series at one point. In like 2018, I think. And then I brought it back because those videos actually are fun to do, and I do get comments from time to time where I'm like, yeah, this would make good video material. And when I did end that series, I was still obviously getting comments that I felt would make good video material for that series. But obviously, at that point, I ended the series, and eventually I got enough comments to the point where I was like, you know what, why not revive the series? But I used to, for that series, I used to have this schedule where I think I would make a new cringy comments video every other month. And it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying making those videos anymore. And then, the 2 month time period would come, and the 2 month deadline I would set for myself would come, and I would kind of struggle because there would be times where I feel like I didn't get enough comments, interesting enough comments at least, to warrant making a whole cringy comments video. So it kind of got to the point where I was plucking comments that were maybe less interesting to talk about. So I obviously I don't do those videos on a strict schedule anymore. I just do them whenever I feel like doing another one, and I feel like I have enough interesting comments to respond to in a video, because obviously I'm not going to feature a comment that just says you suck or you're gay or shit like that, because obviously, like, what is there really to talk about with comments as uninteresting and um, unproductive as those? Have you ever seen a video of a guy named Mark McGrath from a band called Sugar Ray freaking out on some teen who called him Sugar Gay? No, I haven't, but I heard of the band Sugar Ray. They have that Fly song, right? Hello, Bother Me None. How are you doing today? Hello, Sugar Sickle. How are you doing? This is the first stream since I think like 2018 where I have streamed on mobile YouTube. It kind of brings me back to when I used to do phone streams all those years ago, because at the time all I had was my phone. Well, not this phone. I had an iPhone 6 at the time that I would stream on. I do miss those stupid visualizations though. There used to be this one feature in mobile YouTube when you would do a stream, and you would have these stupid visuals pop up. Like, one looked like a rave party or whatever, and I had fun fucking with those, but I guess they took that away because I'd imagine not many people used those. The people who give Luigi Mangione crap are probably the same people who give Kyle Rittenhouse a pass. Oh yeah, probably. I still really like that short I made where I half jokingly referred to Luigi Mangione as a hero, and so many comments were melting down under that video. I did not expect that short to get as much attention as it did. It got like what, 12,000 views, something like that. And there were so many comments like, "You're so vile. I can't believe you'd be celebrating someone's death like this. That CEO did nothing wrong." Yeah, he was profiting off of denying sick people and elderly people coverage for potentially life-saving treatment or medication. Yeah, he was such a wholesome human being. Yeah, I really can't stand fucking bootlickers, especially bootlickers for people who like that CEO that got shot, who would not give a single shit about them and literally profited off of not giving a single shit about regular people and their lives. Saw the video about a month ago. It was pretty amusing. Have you heard of the Minecraft movie chaos that's been happening recently in theaters? Someone brought up the Minecraft movie earlier in the stream, and I said I was only made aware of the Minecraft movie's existence maybe a few days ago. I don't play Minecraft, I don't pay attention to Minecraft, so I didn't even know there was a Minecraft movie coming. So I don't know anything about this supposed chaos going on that's related to the movie. I don't know anything about that, so feel free to enlighten me. I went to Five Guys today. Have I had a five? I think I've had Five Guys before. There's some that are here in NYC, but it's nothing that I. Obviously, something I haven't eaten often. A few days ago, someone commented on your old Go Animate rant saying it was before you went woke. Oh. Like of all videos of mine to comment that, why the Go Animate one? That wasn't even tangentially political. Sugar Ray started as a new metal influences rock band before going pop. That's why they got backlash, even though homophobic language like that is never okay. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of these annoying fans who get really mad at a band or an artist for changing up their sound. They feel like they're personally owed a band or an artist making the same album over and over again. And I can't stand a lot of music fans because, of people like that, really. A band doesn't owe you shit. They're the ones who call the shots. It is their creative outlet. They can choose to express themselves however they choose to. I mean, obviously there are some instances where a band or an artist changes up their sound for the worst and they put out absolute fucking trash. Like Green Day, for example, with Father of All. I don't know what the fuck that was, but yeah. But if Green Day wanted to stick to that sound, I mean, I wouldn't like it, but hey, at the end of the day, I don't dictate the sound of the band. I don't dictate what direction they go in. I would just, not listen to any album that comes afterwards if they did stick to that sound, which thank God they did. And Saviors was actually a pretty decent album. Um, though, in all honesty, Green Day After American Idiot is very hit or miss. I don't care for a 21st Century Breakdown. Sorry, I know that's probably a hot take, but I always thought of that album as a lesser version of American Idiot. The trilogy, there's some good stuff in there, like The Forgotten, for example. I love that song. But then there's also the good stuff is also there's also a bunch of trash scattered in between the good stuff in the trilogy. It really did not need to be a whole fucking trilogy of albums. It could have been just one album of the best bits of the trilogy. Revolution Radio was also decent. I liked that. Obviously, I fucking hate Father of All, and like I said, Saviors is also pretty good. But all in all, yeah, after American Idiot, the Green Day has been just really hit or miss in my opinion. Luigi was kind of based. Kinda. I think he's very based for what he did. I don't care how many people wanna scold me for being so inconsiderate of the life of the poor CEO that got shot. There are some rap songs I know called Chop Suey. Well, that one rapper made that awful Chop Suey cover a few years ago. I forget which one. I made a video about that. I should probably remember the guy's name, but I don't listen to them, so I don't remember their name. But I remember that cover being really awful. There was also that Machine Gun Kelly cover of Aerials that was also really horrible. I remember that too. I remember when a Minions movie came out a few years ago and people would show up to the screenings in suits and be disruptive. Yeah, the Minions movie got a sequel, or at least one sequel, right? I didn't hear about that until like maybe over a year after it came out. Because obviously, I don't care about Minion stuff or Despicable Me. I didn't even know there was a third Despicable Me, or maybe there's even a fourth one. I don't know. I thought there were no more Despicable Me movies after the second one, and then there was the Minion spin-off movie. I saw that when it came out in theaters, like 10 years ago or 11 years ago, and then I just kind of stopped caring about that because by that point I was a teenager, so I didn't really care about that kind of stuff anymore. Jack Black is a sellout from the Minecraft movie to his support for Israel and betraying the best friend over a joke. He became the very man his character in School of Rock was against. I'm mostly familiar with him dumping his friend um, after that joke he made after the assassination attempt on Trump. Yeah. I'm not crazy about Jack Black as a person, at least. I mean, I've been entertained by some Jack Black movies, obviously, and hey, I mean, just recently he did the Mario movie. He was the voice of Bowser, and he he blew my expectations away. I thought Bowser was just going to have the typical Jack Black voice, but no, he actually did a pretty decent job in that movie. But uh, anyway, um, yeah, it's just unfortunate. Jack Black seemed like a chill dude, but yeah. Grown men screaming and throwing popcorn at the Jack Black screen. Are people really doing that? Metallica with Saint Anger is a great example of selling out, not working. I will go to my grave saying Saint Anger is not nearly as bad as people say it is. There are some songs on it I don't like that I think are shit, like My World and Shoot Me Again, but aside from those two songs, I've never gotten the hate for that album. I like the raw, sludgy feel of it. I never minded the snares. Is it really a sellout album, though? I mean, they've had way more commercial albums even before Saint Anger, and of course after. Remember when Wendy's would get into fights with other fast food chains on Twitter? Yeah, I thought that shit was cringe back then, and I still think it's cringe now. It just exudes that "how do you do, fellow children" energy, fellow kids, whatever the quote is. It was that awful cover by Little Uzi. Yeah, that was the rapper's name. But there were a few other songs called Chop Suey that weren't covers. Uh, I remember when Minion stuff was everywhere over 10 years ago. Yeah, I remember the Minion craze very well. Yeah, I got really sick of Minions at the time as well. Jesus Christ. Like, it seemed like fucking impossible to go anywhere in public and you wouldn't see a Minions plushie or a Minions t-shirt. They were just so goddamn inescapable. They were also in so many memes as well, mostly like boomer Facebook memes, but even regular memes, you'd see them a lot in. Kind of glad we're over that. I remember that video called I Hate Minions So Much, freaking hilarious. Is that the video with the girl attacking a Minions plushie or whatever, or like crushing it? Because I remember that video. I remember finding that amusing. I think I watched that around the time it came out. I remember when I Hate Everything did videos on Minions. Yeah. I think I've brought up I Hate Everything in other streams. Used to watch him a lot. Now I don't even know what he's up to. I mean, I think people told me he barely uploads on YouTube anymore, which I guess I'm not surprised by. I haven't seen that guy's content in years. Haven't really seen people talk about him in years. But when I was 15, I loved his channel because I was the I hate everything kind of person back then too. Arguably still, arguably still that person to this day. But on Meverse, I would begin every post with "I hate this, I hate that." So his channel really resonated with me back then. But he primarily became a movie reviewer, and I didn't really care for that content as much as the regular videos, and I just kind of lost interest in what he was doing. I mean, also part of that was just me not really caring about the channel anymore. I don't think I've seen a video by him in probably at least 5 years. I don't know, maybe a little less than that, but I know it's been a long time. Saint Anger was an attempt at new metal, and Kirk was told guitar solos were not allowed because it wasn't the current trend in music. Yeah, that's another point against that album, I suppose, the lack of guitar solos. But again, I never minded that album as much as most people do. McDonald's also used Riz in a tweet a while back. I think I featured that in one of my comment waste bin videos. And I'm just not a fan of any of these corporations trying to use Gen Z language or maybe at this point Gen Alpha language because it just never lands. I mean, you just know it's like some fucking 30 or 40-year-old behind the tweets trying to relate with the kids and just using their language. And, you know, anyone who isn't in that age range using Gen Z lingo or Gen Alpha lingo, it just comes off as really fucking awkward and kind of cringe, to be honest. You would think by this point, every time these corporations try to be hip with the kids, it's always met with people just mocking them mercilessly. You would think they would not do that anymore, but they still try. I remember I Hate Everything's Minion comment comeback video. I remember his comment comeback series. That was one of the inspirations to me making cringy comments. Well, that and Archfiend's fanboy comment videos. I think there were even literally some people around the time I began the cringy comment series saying, "This reminds me of I Hate Everything's comment comeback series," and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. That's what this series was partially inspired by. I'm still subbed to IHE. He uploads months apart these days. I unsubbed from him a long time ago. No shade to the guy at all. I mean, I'm sure he's a fine person, but I'm just not really into his content anymore. Not seen IHE in a long time. Same. And I'm serious, there are some people acting up in the movie theaters. Yeah, I mean, you or someone else said supposedly there's grown adults throwing popcorn in the theaters showing the Minecraft movie, and I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised, considering these are Minecraft fans we're talking about. I hate everything mostly does movie videos and videos about the Bungie game Destiny these days. Well, I don't play Destiny, so I wouldn't know much about that or have much of an interest in watching that. So, yeah, sounds like he still doesn't really make content I'm interested in. Which again is fine. He's free to run his channel however he pleases. It's just that it's nothing I'm personally interested in. So I'll just choose to still not watch him. I used to use the term lit when I was in middle school, but I don't use terms like Riz. I don't really use any Gen Z or Gen Alpha lingo. Maybe I would if a lot of it didn't sound like a drunken frat boy. I'm cooked, bro. God, I remember that anti-smoking ad that used memes really cringy. Which anti-smoking ad? I don't think I know what you're talking about. He made a video talking about his anxiety during 2020 when 2020 was over. He talked about how he possibly had COVID-19 but couldn't get a test. Ooh. I remember he made a video about anxiety even before that in like 2015 that I really appreciated because, that was when I started to recognize my own anxiety. I mean, I knew I had it, but that's when I started to that's when I started to take my anxiety symptoms more seriously and work on how to cope with having it. And around that time, he made a video about anxiety, and I really appreciated that. It made me feel not alone. Why is the chat not popping up? Oh, here we go. Rant content seems to have gotten a lot less, unfortunately. Less relevant, you mean? I mean, yeah. I mean, I think rant content is more of a. I say this while running a rant channel myself, or at least a rant adjacent channel, I guess you could say. But rants have really gone out of style. I think video essays have really taken over that scene. The whole commentary scene. You don't really see traditional style rants that much anymore, where it's like just someone sitting in front of a webcam or whatever camera they may have and just talking about shit they don't like for a few minutes. You don't really see that much anymore. I mean, I kind of fill that void, I suppose, but I don't really make strictly rant videos anymore. Or, I mean, my content isn't strictly rants. I mean, I like making commentary videos on current events and such, which I guess you could also constitute as rants, but I don't know. I don't really like calling myself a ranter, mainly because I mean it is kind of an outdated term at this point. I mean, rants are not really much of a thing on this site anymore, or at least they're not popular anymore. I'm sure there were still plenty of rant videos being uploaded onto this site. But hey, I still try to keep the dream alive. I mean, again, I don't think my videos are strictly rant videos. I consider myself more of a commentator, but I do make videos every once in a while that are, innocuous videos where I talk about innocuous shit that I don't like. Like just recently, like a month or two ago, I made that video about public bathrooms. That's a rant video, I guess. You know, me talking about not liking public bathrooms. Or me ranting about people who complain about other people who don't like kids. That was a rant video. It's fun. I like talking about stuff I don't like, but it's not nearly as popular as it once was. Yeah, ranting videos are nowhere near as popular as they were over a decade ago. They're one of the first kind of videos I ever watched alongside pivot animations. Yeah, I still like watching rant videos. Well, I still watch people like Archfiend, even though most people have moved on from his channel at this point. He has over 40,000 subscribers and only like 500 people ever watch his videos anymore. He still makes good stuff though. I'm not ragging on him. It's just that, his style of content is, I guess outdated at this point. People don't want to watch someone just sitting in front of a camera and ranting about something for a few minutes. People have kind of pivoted away from that format of content, but I still like it. So I still watch channels like his. Yeah, most of those channels move to video essays or game streaming or movie reviews. Yeah. Again, I guess I'm kind of keeping the dream alive. You know, I guess my videos are considered rant videos. I mean, I know some of my videos are, or quite a few of my videos are objectively rant videos, like the ones I just said. The public bathroom one, or the one I made recently about people who complain about others who don't like kids. But even my channel for the most part these days is me talking about current events and politics and stuff like that, and I don't really consider those strictly to be rant videos. I guess it really depends on what you consider a rant or not. Apparently, the quartering is in debt. Good. Yeah, and any misfortune that happens to that guy, I'm all for. Why is he in debt? Did he lose a lot of money in stocks or something? Didn't you say that you don't like astrology? Are you able to read my mind? Because that's actually a video I want to make soon about astrology and why I don't like astrology. I sometimes go back and watch old rant videos that I liked as a kid. Yeah, same. It's just that a lot of rant channels I used to watch back in the day have since deleted their content or deleted their channels. Like Undertaker Freak, for example. He's on a new channel now. Some leftist or some guy in Finland, I should say. He changed his name again recently. Archfiend is still around, like I said. There used to be a guy named Sun Guy. He used to make a lot of responses to Onision back in the day. I loved his content back when I was 13, when he deleted his channel some years ago. Unfortunately. But even years before that, he deleted all of his content. Unfortunately. I still go back and watch the UTF archive videos from time to time. Yeah, I go back to that channel too. That channel has quite a few old UTF videos that I thought would be lost to time, but aren't. Obviously nowhere near the like 1,500 videos he uploaded onto his channel before wiping his content are archived, unfortunately. But it's still cool to see the videos like his retail rants still are backed up. But I'm not really interested in what he's doing now. I watch his stuff. I'm not interested in everything he uploads, like Like, whenever he talks about wrestling, I've never cared about WWE or any of that, so I don't watch the. Whenever he talks about wrestling, uh, same thing. Whenever Archfiend talks about sports, I'm not a sports person, so I mean, I did pay attention to when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, only marginally. I mean, my uncle just happened to have the Super Bowl on the TV. I was sitting in the living room, so I was like, why not watch it along with him? But it was also cool to see Archfiend celebrate another Eagles victory, so I liked that. But all in all, I don't watch his um, sports content either. UTF's political rants, though, I like. That's like the bread and butter of his channel these days. I like his more, um, I guess, low key or more calmer demeanor these days, I should say. The quartering is in debt because his coffee company is failing. I remember he used to show that coffee company a lot, back in the day, or a few years ago, I should say. Actually, I remember when Review Tech USA would make videos going after the quartering. I think the quartering would flex on him and say, "I have this successful coffee company outside of my YouTube channel." He would always go on about his coffee company. To now hear from you, at least, that it's failing, I just find that really funny. His coffee is also drop shipped. Guess the grift can only last so long. Shame the thing hasn't happened to Ben Shapiro or the Daily Wire. Isn't the Daily Wire also struggling? I thought they were on the verge of going bankrupt. I know they've been laying off a lot of employees. I think they had to axe their children's show division and their animation division, just to cut costs. I mean, even if the Daily Wire goes under, unfortunately, I think Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro and that one guy, I forget the name of the old dude. What's his name? Adam or whatever. The one no one watches. I think all of those people, maybe aside from the old dude, no one cares about, and Ben Shapiro will be perfectly fine. Unfortunately, they've no doubt accrued millions of dollars at this point. I used to be subbed to Archfiend and would comment on his community posts. I'm still subbed to him, and his community posts appear a lot in my feed because he posts several times a day on this community tab. I think he did make a community post a few days ago because it was the 19th anniversary of his channel. And I commented that I found him through his but I didn't find him through his Nick Studio 10 videos. I did see some videos of his before them, but the Nick Studio 10 videos were what made me stick around since 2013. He was one of my inspirations to start ranting on Miiverse. So I guess I have him to partially at least thank for that. I also used to really enjoy UTF's videos about hating kids. Yeah, I remember his video about not liking kids. That was one of the videos that was archived. I know that's on the archive channel. Um, I haven't seen that video in a few years though. I know he'd probably find it cringe now, like he finds most of his old videos at this point to be cringe, but they were relatable and entertaining. I remember he made a video looking back at I think either a subscriber special or an anniversary special he made back in the day, where he compiled a bunch of clips from his old videos, and he reacted to that, and a lot of those clips he was cringing at and thought were really embarrassing. Meanwhile, I was watching his reaction, and some of those clips did make me laugh. So maybe I am still a bit juvenile. I don't know. The annoying thing though is when people like the quartering expose not only hateful shit but also expose themselves as fake fans. Oh yeah, a lot of these anti-woke people, they don't actually give a shit about what they're talking about. They don't care about the games they're talking about or the movies or whatever. It's just for the fucking money. They know it's easy money to point at something and say it's woke. Like if anything has a black character or a female character or anything like that, or a female protagonist, I should say, that they say that shit is woke, and it's easy views, it's easy money. I could have easily went down that path and make fucking anti-woke Star Wars videos, even though I don't fucking care about Star Wars, but it's not like you really need to have expansive knowledge of Star Wars to make these videos pointing out how the new movies are supposedly woke trash or whatever the fuck. I could have done that if I had no principles at all. The Daily Wire also grifted with chocolate bars when Hershey's partnered with a trans woman. Yeah, I remember that. Made a video about that too when that happened. What was that, like 3 years ago now? I'm going to guess no one bought those chocolate bars, or at the very least, they were popular when they initially came out, but obviously when the outrage subsided and they moved on to the next controversy, like Dylan Mulvaney advertising piss beer, or Bud Light, I should say. I doubt people still fucking cared about the Hershey's chocolate thing, and by extension, lost interest in the Daily Wire's chocolate brand. I think the first video I ever saw from UTF was his video about One Direction over 10 years ago. I don't know what the first UTF video I saw was, but I know I found them through Archfiend because they made that one video in a parking garage. That fake video where Archfiend was cheating on his wife with UTF. That was really funny. That's how I found out UTF's channel. I still like watching that video from time to time. And the sequel video, where he or him and Archfiend were in a hotel room. That was when Archfiend was getting married. Matt Walsh made a very racist tweet a few days ago, and it was even getting into race science shit. Matt Walsh, a racist? Whoa. Yeah, Matt Walsh tweeting something racist does not surprise me in the least bit. A lot of Nick Studio 10 is lost media. I'm fine with Nick Studio 10 being lost media. It goes to show how many people really hated that. That Nick Studio 10 thing. But no one even bothered to archive the little interruptions during shows. I remember when UTF made a video called Nintendo Sucks. I remember that video, and I remember not really liking it at the time. Because I had a Wii U, and a lot of it was trashing on the Wii U. He didn't even own one. I thought it was pretty unfair because I thought the Wii U was a solid console, and I still think it's a solid console. It's kind of the Wii U never really got that GameCube effect where it was a flop when it was out. Everyone trashed on it when it was out, but after the fact, people realize it's a good console. The Wii U never got that treatment, even though like more than half of the Switch's most popular games are Wii U ports. I think the console itself was fine. I was even watching a Penguin Zero video the other day where he was talking talking more, or he was talking about the voice chat feature on the Switch 2 and how dated it is and how shitty it supposedly is or is going to be. And there was even some Wii U bashing. He was like, I missed out on the Wii, and then I tried to rectify that mistake with the Wii U, but the Wii U ended up being garbage." And I was like, I still think the Wii U was a fine enough console. That's how life works. We all get older and cringe at our past. I know I definitely do. Oh, I most certainly do. When I watch certain videos I've made in the past. What's up, Mike? Rare time I was able to catch one of your streams. Well, unfortunately, I'm leaving soon. An hour and 20 minutes in. That's the 2 hour mark, right? An hour and 20 minutes is 2 hours. Yep, 120 minutes. So, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving in a few minutes. Ending the stream, I should say, in a few minutes because I think I have to go to the store soon anyway. But it's still cool to see you here. It's cool that you're able to catch the stream regardless, Luffy Monkey. First Hawk Twa and now Chicken Jockey. What's next? I don't know what the fuck Chicken Jockey is. What is that? Or should I ask? Ew, maybe I don't want to know what that is. Have you ever seen Outback Zach? I heard of him, but I don't think I watched him. I discovered UTF and Archfiend from Outback Zach, and Outback Zach had a great video on his old Zach James channel about autism, and it was so great. That sounds interesting. I know who Outback Zach was or is, but I don't think I watched him. Supposedly it's raining now. That's what my phone says. It was a pretty gloomy day yesterday too. I don't know what tomorrow's weather is supposed to be like. Ooh, tomorrow's not going to be any better either. Rain. Ooh. Well, actually, all of next week, with the exception of Thursday, looks like it's going to be raining or at least gloomy as well. Next Monday and Tuesday, rain. Wednesday, it says cloudy. Thursday is going to be sunny. And the next Friday, rain. Woo. Well, I mean, the saying goes, April showers brings May flowers. So maybe that'll be the case, though. There have been some instances where we've had Aprils where it was sunny throughout, and then May would be the fucking dreary month. So I never really took that saying very seriously. Well, so much for this not being a full stream. um, not leaving just yet, and I'll give it like another minute or two. But remember at the beginning of the stream saying I may have to end this stream early because I may have to go to the store. It depends on if my mom is working late or not, but obviously she must be working late because I haven't gotten a call from her yet. But my voice is starting to give out a bit. Chicken jockey is just some Minecraft catchphrase I've been seeing recently. I've not heard of it because, again, I don't play Minecraft, so I don't know what is going on within the Minecraft community. Again, I didn't even know there was a Minecraft movie until a few days ago. I really don't. Maybe I should keep up with some stuff like that because I'm so out of the loop with a lot of things that you would think someone my age would keep up with, but But anyway, hour and 25 minutes. That's the 2 hour and 5 minute mark, right? That's when I usually end these streams, and I'm going to end this stream now. My voice hurts. First and probably last iPad stream. I mean, I do like that the camera quality is better than on my laptop, but the streaming layout, the dashboard, I'm really not a fan of on mobile. So I think I'm going to stick with my laptop. This was a nice experiment, but yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed interacting with everyone who participated in the chat. I mean, but just the layout of the stream dashboard and yeah, I didn't really. I'm much more of a fan of streaming on my laptop as opposed to on the iPad. But I just wanted to try this out. Still a fun stream regardless. Thank you to everyone who was here before and isn't here now, and thank you to those especially who stuck around for the entire stream. Oof, I can't imagine watching myself for 2 fucking hours. Thank you. Yeah. I'll stream sometime in May because I stream once a month, and of course that stream will be on a Friday because these streams are always on Fridays. Yeah. Anyway, I don't need to be rambling anymore. How do I end this? Oh god, am I gonna be like Sam Cedar, where it takes him like 5 minutes to end a fucking stream whenever you're streaming on mobile? Oh wait, here we go. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I am sure, and goodbye.